I am warm. What up? Welcome back to Just Checkin In podcast. Of course, you got me, everybody's favorite Uncle Don Don, and joined by
Mr. Qualified, per usual.
And today we're doing something a little different. Obviously, you can see that we, in person, I have opened up my wonderful home to this good brother, but we are also joined by another good brother, the sick and shut in over here. Want to check in with you. Who are you and what happened?
All right, my name is Jesse Logan. Formerly used to run a podcast with Steve.
Indeed.
I live out here in Chicago. I'm a filmmaker. And I had an accident around the house. We're going to keep it like that. We're going to keep it like that.
Are you good, though?
I am good. I've been healing for like a month now. Arm is in the cast, and as you see, I will be out my cast in another month. So,
round of applause.
Yes.
Hey, I'm just glad he didn't try to raise his arm.
Oh,
so about that motherfucker be a rector guy.
He said, I'm into it. You know, we all got to pivot sometimes.
Hey, you know.
Well, I'm glad you were doing good.
Indeed.
Welcome to the pod. We want to just check in with you. And given that we just heard that you say you are a filmmaker, shout out to you.
Thanks.
We want to direct the conversation today and see how y'all feel about reboots and remakes. These are TV shows and movies in general, because I feel like we are seeing an uptick in them.
Unprecedented times, truly.
Hollywood just lost its sauce. It's just, hey, you got that still? Yeah.
Oh, you got that script?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm not, it depends. I'm not against reboots and remakes, but I also believe everything doesn't need a reboot and a remake. And I can go down the list. First off, I don't think That's So Raven should have got a reboot. Though the reboot is decent. I think the story of what we left off for our generation should have stayed there, and they should have just re-aired That's So Raven rather than trying to remake it. But that's just my opinion.
I think my thing with a lot of reboots and remakes, I guess more so TV shows than movies, is I feel like who you target with the remake is usually off, because that's not the audience that fell in love with the original. So, like the That's So Raven, for example, that show is obviously tailored toward the kids of today. But any Easter eggs they probably do throw in there, maybe somebody, parents, potentially, might catch it, but they wouldn't get the Easter eggs like we would get the Easter eggs. So I think that's a huge part of what makes a remake or a reboot make sense, is the audience still there for it. I think that's why it gets really tricky, because take Martin, for example. Martin has the potential to be rebooted because across generations, I feel like you got more people who've seen it or know of it. So you'd be able to reach a larger audience, in my opinion. But yeah, it kind of depends.
Did you want to see Martin rebooted? In today's time.
And is that reboot a reboot with a whole new take, or is that a reboot with where that cast is now in life 30-something years later?
You don't have no Tommy.
I would love to see it with the cast. I would love to see what their lives look like 30 years later, and how everything and what's intertwined, and what's new. I think, but it kind of also depends. It depends on which Martin you're getting, and it depends on how you set up the show, because the original show is sketch comedy, basically, just scripted just enough to give a few storylines and allow each character to shine, but it's sketch comedy at the end of the day. Sketch comedy is not the same in 2024, and I feel like a lot of the lines, they kind of, I won't say they blurred lines, but they were able to they was able to walk on edge a little bit. Like all the jokes Martin and Pam used to get off, that's not. I just don't think all of them are flying in 2024. Facts. So I don't know, but a new cast would be interesting, but it had to be the right mix of people, but I don't know a lead comedian that could do what Martin did.
But that's a completely different show. Martin,
Yes.
of all shows and movies that we could ever talk about, Martin is at the top of my list that should not be touched. Don't bring it back with the old cast. Don't bring it back with the new cast. Don't throw DC Young Fly in there. No shade to him, but like we don't need to touch that. Like that is a golden time of TV, a golden time of comedy, a golden time of sketch comedy. Like I feel like we should leave it where it is because the hot take. I think the retake or a spinoff of Martin is what we got with My Wife and Kids. So I'm satisfied with knowing where that is.
That's interesting. And I'm not mad at that. I also think, similar to Martin, I think any show that was led by if there was any show like that was the namesake of the lead actor, so take the Jamie Foxx show, take any show like that, I don't think you can't reboot it because it was based around, like Martin was based around who Martin is. So it only works that way. You're not going to be able to duplicate the Jamie Foxx show. Nah. It's just not going it's not the same because it's not centered around. So I don't know if there's somebody you could take and give them their own show. I think the closest we got to something like that might have been Jared Carmichael. Which was a great show. Shouldn't have got canceled.
Oh, I wish that lasted longer. The Carmichael show.
Carmichael show was fire. So like it has to be the right person if you're gonna do a show like that. So I think sitcoms have a better opportunity of like potentially replacing those characters. But any show where it was based on one main person, ain't gonna be able to reboot those. Okay. Same with movies too. I think it applies the same way.
So I think the only difference with that is if it was a show, say like Moesha, right? We know it's Brandy, and sadly Ray J got thrown into there, right? But like it's Brandy, but it's Moesha. She is just the main character. That's different than the Jamie Foxx show. That's different than Martin. That's different than all of those other shows.
You could do somebody else could be a different version of Moesha.
Who could that be if it is Moesha? I don't think Moesha should be touched either.
Ryan Destiny.
Or Coco.
Ryan Destiny or Coco.
I'm in the Coco Jones.
Ryan Destiny or Coco.
Yeah. Ryan could.
I love Coco on
Bel Air.
Like, I think she's playing the perfect Hillary Banks. And it was so crazy because the skin tone folks was tweaking about that when Bel Air is one of those shows that like, great reboot. We didn't think that it was going to be the level that it was because we know what Fresh Prince was to all of us. Is like, don't touch it. But then when they said it was going to be a serialized drama and we seen that first season, it was like, okay, this got promise. And then it just got promise. It got a lot of promise. I think that's all I can say right now. It just got a lot of promise.
After 2 seasons, there's room for it to be. There's room for it to like cement itself in a certain space of like reboots that successfully did a retake or a reimagining as they like to use for that show in particular. But I
think they just need to push to make it because it's already a reboot. But I think to make it a successful reboot, because I can't call a show that only lasts 2 seasons a successful reboot. I need you to make it past 2 seasons. Like in TV, if you don't make it past 2 seasons, it's like. But you make it past that 2 seasons and you get 3 or 4 they say you complete. You know what I'm saying? You get Bel Air 4 seasons of a reboot and you push the boundaries of the storylines because it's a serialized drama. I really think it could be a successful reboot.
As a reboot, and I didn't watch season 2, so I mean I'm behind.
Or remake.
But as a reboot or remake, I think Bel Air is successful because it has a level of familiarity.
Yes.
But it could be its own standalone thing. Like if you've never seen Fresh Prince from the 90s because it's such a fresh take and a pivot, like I'm kind of into it. But like Living Single, don't reboot it. Oh, yeah, don't remake.
I mean,
I'm on that too.
You could, and it would have to be done right. I would want the right people involved.
It really could though.
But it could.
I know you.
This is me drawing a line and just saying, I'm sorry.
I know you're biased. I'm
100% biased.
Yeah.
But just think about a living single, applying it to your life today. Your life today in today's time. Like
conceptually, I see it. I like it. I could be into it. But
it won't be as colorful as original
no way.
Single. It won't be, like you said, sketchy. And like each episode was kind of sketch based and stuff. And those characters were like, those are original flair new characters. We'll kind of already know what it's based off on versus like when Living Single originally aired, we like, man, this shit, it's new. Like, this is, this is nice content and stuff like that. As far as today, like you said, you have to blur some lines. I don't really think you do. I don't really think you gotta blur lines. It's what network handles it and how will it be shaped? Is it gonna be a sitcom? Is it gonna be a drama? You know what I'm saying? Like what they gonna do with Living Single? But I
think Living Single is one of the few shows that you could see in 2024 from the concept of it. Friends living together, or living close, and their lives being intertwined in that way. I think that makes sense and can be reimagined more than most shows from that time period. I absolutely get why it's untouchable though, because of the way the characters are. I don't think you're gonna find anybody that's gonna come anywhere close to giving us Regine vibes. Like you're just not gonna get that again, right? No. And so I think it's stuff like that where it's like just let it be what it is. But I think it has the same potential as a Bel-Air, the potential that Bel-Air has shown. I think whether you dramatized it or whether you left it as a sitcom, I think there's room to reimagine those characters and put them in 2024.
That's true.
I don't know if this is, I hear you, yes, and that just gave me a light bulb. I don't know if this would work, but if Living Single was to be remade, rebooted, reimagined, whatever, now, it would have to follow almost an Abbott Elementary or a Modern Family. Based, they in the same boat, but based on characters, because Living Single was as successful as it was. Outside of being the 90s and shit like that, but each of those characters could be standalone. Like they can all carry the show. So as an ensemble cast, it worked. The same way we see with Modern Family, the same way that we are seeing with Abbott currently. I just don't know what docu-series, comedy, whatever that's called, would look like. Mockumentary, thank you. Would look like with a group of friends.
If they use flavor as the same hub, I think that creates a setting that makes a lot possible. At least mockumentary style for sure.
If they all work that flavor.
Yeah. Or even if they don't all have to work there, but if there's a connection.
Come on, film director.
Years? Yeah.
Because you gotta think about it what you was about to say.
It's a new show.
Say it.
Well, it's a different show that could potentially be reimagined.
That's out right now?
No.
Okay.
From when? Well, just say it. Why are we playing Guess Who?
I don't know. I kind of like the suspense. But Family Matters? New spin.
Don't touch it. Because you don't...
Well, you can't touch Urkel. That's
what I'm saying. Urkel is Family Matters. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was that one-off character that just came on, Urkel made Family Matters with being Urkel. I don't want to see Urkel and his son or Urkel and his daughter.
No.
I don't want that because at that point you're forcing the story upon us rather than it genuinely feeling oh, this is an original great story like we use in Bel-Air. Mm-hmm. Bel-Air isn't though it's based off the sitcom, the things that we're watching are kind of loosely new, storylines and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I feel would you say Family Matters? Mm-hmm. If they touch it now, if anybody were to touch it now, even with the genius that you have on films, I think it's going to end up being grownish.
Exactly. And
that's not a compliment. No shade to anybody who was touching grownish.
Grownish was difficult, and I feel like grownish has had high moments, but I feel like they've also had moments where I think they just fell victim to the structure that Blackish had, and I feel like if you had let Grownish kind of be its own thing,
and they
even
also
from
moved the network too.
Yeah, that too.
Moved the network because they tried to appeal to a younger crowd. So instead of them being ABC with the ABC writers that was handling Blackish, they was on Freeform with the Freeform writers that was handling Grownish, trying to tailor to a young adult crowd.
It wasn't good.
Like you said, it had its moments. Yeah. I don't think it was a terrible show. But it's
it missed the mark on a lot.
Exactly,
though.
And I feel look at it like this: as us young black, millennials that ended up going to college and stuff, I couldn't relate fully to Grownish. I could relate to some of the things that were shown in a different world that was 30 years ago, then I can relate to the stuff that I was seeing in Grownish.
It should not be touched at all.
A different world.
Yes, but I also think that is a show that could translate well to today.
That is a perfect show that can.
But I don't think you're going to be able, even if you just take the idea and essentially say it's a reimagining with a new name or whatever, but we all know the premise is based on or inspired by a different world.
It's kind of hard to remake shows that like change the culture.
That's the part of it.
It's very hard.
It's too integral. Yeah,
don't be so high like, oh, this is show about blacks at college. You know, let's do this and
it's not the same. I mean, shout out to higher ed. They gave me my bread and butter, and that was my career for the longest time.
But it's just not.
College is not the same. College is not looked at the same across Black African American communities. Not the same. Even if you put it at a HBCU, it won't be the same. Now, if they did a take on that and it looked like my college experience, that probably actually shouldn't be televised. But that made more sense because I feel like my college experience, probably our college experience, was reminiscent of some of the things from
for sure
then, but we also are 90s kids.
So. Though I do feel like our generation deserves a show about college, so like that, yeah. We can be reminiscent of our time and not just be like a flash in the memory, like, oh yeah, I went to college. Like you can sit down with your family and they ask you like, yo, like was this what your college experience is like? Because even for us, though we may not have people that went to, colleges and stuff like that, watching a different world growing up, it inspired you to say like, damn, like I kind of want to experience something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we need that today. Yeah. Kids need to see that on TV so they can change the landscape to say, I want to go back to college, but we don't have, shows like that. And there's no knock to any of the shows.
Facts.
Like Power of the Snowfalls or any of that stuff like that because they're entertaining.
Yeah.
A Different World was educational, entertainment. It showed us in a space that like had never been covered before. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
That's groundbreaking things that I feel like if you gonna touch it, you gotta be very, 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 very meticulous with it. Like you gotta get the right people behind it. Like don't just go get like, oh, I'm about to go get Oprah to do this. You know what I'm saying? She gonna bring it back because it's Oprah. Like
no, I'm gonna be like Harpo. Who was this one?
Like exactly. Like come on now. I just think shows like that need proper handling because they change the culture. When you that's it.
So then let me ask you this. As a creative and filmmaker and all these other things, are reboots or remakes lazy? Are they creative? Do they help or hurt the legacy? Like, where do y'all stand on that?
I think they can be lazy. They can be done lazy sometimes. But I think there have been people that have put a lot of intention behind either getting it right as a remake or getting it right and paying homage as some type of remake or reimagining. I think that it has become predictable in the landscape of TV and film. I think it is easy to say, hey, let's just try this remake, or let's do a film that's 30 years old. Let's go ahead and redo it with a different cast, but it's virtually the same script. You know what I'm saying? Like I like what they did with The Color Purple. I know there are mixed reviews on it, but I think making it a musical just added another layer to what it already meant to art.
It was filmed to be based off the stage play.
Yes. So I think that type of rework of it makes it an interesting way to watch something that you're very familiar with, which is fine because it makes it a moment more than something that has to be compared to where it comes from.
Okay.
And I think they marketed it as such. So it's like you expected it to be more of a moment of like, I get to relive this experience, not this one time, but I'm not looking to say, hey, did I get the same feeling I got from it when I originally watched it? Because I don't think that was the intention.
Okay, so let me ask both of y'all this. So we know that we have series and like, say for instance, we got our hero franchises like with MCUs and stuff like that. But we also got standoff like action films like Transformers. We got the James Bond, taking me to my point with James Bond. Is James Bond one of those series that could be universally and infinitely rebooted and remade?
My initial answer is yes, but the world is in turmoil at the fact that James Bond could, one, not be white, and two, not be a man.
Correct.
So as long as it stays in what societal's expectations is what a spy should be, infinite movies coming out. But the idea of having James Bond actually be a woman, which I'm kind of into,
That wouldn't be bad.
or a black man, which has been the two things that's been out in like the Twitterverse, is wild. And they're like, whoa, this is blasphemy. And I'm like, it's a spy. First of all, James Bond has been like 18 different people. So I think it depends on the audience, but to just looking at it, what do you think?
I think because the concept is so universal and because it has made it this far in history and in time, I think the concept of it is something that people always be receptive to. But I do think the point y'all made in regards to either not being white or not being a man, I think would hinder the success of it going forward. Because the minute it's a black James Bond or the minute it's a woman James Bond in it, don't let it be a black woman James Bond.
I think if we do, because we've been able to see within the film world and that like remakes that are made with different characters can potentially do something great.
Yeah.
I.e., we had Margot Robbie and Barbie. Even though she was the lead character, Issa Rae also played her part, as a supporting character that a lot of people were surprised that she was going to steal a lot of the screen time with sharing screen with Margot Robbie and stuff like that, which shifted a lot of people's heads saying like, oh, like this black Barbie, you know what I'm saying? Like she's really shifting the culture. So I mean, go to your point too, both of y'all points about black leads and stuff. I don't think with a franchise like this, yes, it's going to be controversial. But I think if they were to cast the perfect, like you cast a black actor that you know for a fact can pull this off, it's like you got no choice but to shut up and watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know it's going to be potentially good based off the actor. You know what I'm saying? But just don't go cast. That's one of those roles you can't just go cast anybody because based off name. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that they want to do stunts. They have that James Bond-esque, like, suave flair. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I don't think you can go get... You can't go get Sterling Knight and be like, go Sterling K. Brown and be like, go be James Bond. And he'll be like, okay, like...
Why he said okay like that?
Because, James Bond be trying to be serious and suave. It's just like, I wouldn't take Sterling... I wouldn't just take him like that. I'd just be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if I could see him as James Bond.
You know what I'm saying? Now, one of these, like, up-and-coming British, like, Daniel Kaluuya, Daniel Kaluuya could be a James Bond.
Shout out to you saying his name, what I assume is right.
Yeah.
Because I just said Daniel.
I do have a question for both of you. And this might just be out of right field. What is the best... Who had the best remake of Batman?
Actor?
As in who was the best Batman?
Yes.
Actually,
wasn't Robert Pattinson, I can tell you that.
No, facts.
Y'all didn't like Robert Pattinson Batman?
No.
Nah.
It was better than Val Kilmer's.
Yes.
Val Kilmer's had the Joker and he had Mr. Freeze and all that. It was way better than that one.
I did.
Those Batmans also weren't that great, but that wasn't Val Kilmer's fault. So I would still pick him over. Was I having this conversation with you the other day about Batman? The thing about successful Batman is that you have to be a great Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson is not.
What Christian Bale is.
Christian Bale is. He is like.
I mean,
of course,
I feel like he is Batman to a lot of people.
The ultimate one. A lot of people will still argue. What's OG? Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will argue OG Michael Keaton.
That's also coupled with Michelle Pfeiffer, which makes a great movie.
That's true. George Clooney was not a great Batman. He was a decent Bruce Wayne. Decent Bruce Wayne, but he was not a good.
He was just an easy heartthrob of the time.
Exactly.
I just still don't know why Robert Pattinson was there.
He got the role. I don't know who else was up for it, but he got the role.
He did.
Damn, I should have auditioned.
A lot of people was viewing Christian Bale the same way as they view Robert Pattinson when he first took on Batman.
Really?
Yes. A lot of people was like, we knew he can act dramatically, but it was the sense of like, you taking on this action hero, you know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't Christian Bale before he took on the role and stuff like that.
That's the hard part of remakes, reboots, extensions, because you get so caught up in this is who it was, and then you can't like learn something new.
Yeah. If they try to reboot Harry Potter, I'm not watching that. No, I'm gonna let you know right now. So, J.K. Rowling.
I'm coming for you.
So what do we want to like try and actually recast? Like what's worth recasting? Do we? I ain't gonna lie. I kind of want to tackle recasting Living Single, but I know that might be the unpopular opinion.
I do too. I would throw my pitch out there to like try to recast. Like if I can get the main, let's see, because it's gonna be kind of hard to cover somebody like Queen Latifah because she brought improv style. Like she brought a lot to that show that her co-leads were able to bounce off of her. Like originally that was her show, but just. She made it more so feel like her show with her character.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Who we gonna have play Sinclair? You know, like things like that.
So let me ask this: if we are gonna go with Living Single, which I can fold, are we casting as all things equal? It is the same show, concept, premise, all of that. We are just now trying to find a new talent of 2024.
Let's do, instead of them in a brownstone in New York, let's do a brownstone in Chicago.
Cast me.
Does that affect the picks?
I don't. I mean, two major cities. It don't. I mean, yes and no.
I mean, Chicago has a different vibe than New York.
Yeah.
But I still feel like some of them could have thrived. I don't think we have a Queen Latifah in New York. Like she is. Khadijah is New York.
Yeah, Khadijah is New York.
Max could be here. Kyle could be
Regine
here.
could definitely be here. Well,
Absolutely.
the only thing Regine stayed on, like, what was it like? And not stayed, but she stayed shopping in like Manhattan and all these things. Like that. So it's like
Gold Coast, Magnificent Mile.
You're right.
Hell, online boutique if we want to make it 2024.
This is true. This is true.
Man, put me in the writer's room. Let me get another check. No, who would you recast? I'm gonna be slow to answer because I don't want to recast.
I would put if I could see her at like comedic side, I would cast Soraya as Regine.
I don't know if she got from Empire. I don't think she got the comedic gene for it though. That's the only part.
Because it really was just about, for Regine, it was really about the delivery of the lines.
Timing was impeccable,
hey,
bro.
because with my rewatch, I'm like, Regine really was like carrying.
No, facts.
They was really carrying, like, a lot of them episodes where, like, they had plot.
Yeah.
Regine, Lil's B storyline came in, like, hella funny, so.
And to that point, shout out to Ken Fields. Because the Upshaws, I think, is a new show that is overlooked in terms of comedy.
I agree.
So she has carried that through her career, but I don't.
Y'all see Soraya?
I don't see Soraya.
I think it was probably because of short hair.
She could be. What's the episode of Living Single where somebody's cousin came in and stole?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
she could be her.
It was a lot of guest stars.
It was a lot of guest stars. I forget her name. Her actual name. I only know her character name. It's a reach. But Kelly from Insecure has the personality and the chops
of Sinclair.
Of Max.
I was thinking Khadijah. But she could be Sinclair if that was the role.
Yeah.
But that's why I said it's a reach, because I'm not saying she's not worth the lead, don't get me wrong.
I see her more
but like
in the Sinclair role than I see her.
I feel that though.
Khadijah.
I feel that though.
She can act. Like, she can
right, that's why. But she will body Sinclair because of that though.
I would like to see her as a new Sinclair.
Dang, I don't want to pull from only the Insecure cast.
Well, because when you said that, I'm like, Yvonne Orji is Max.
And I was thinking that, but I was like,
damn, is Insecure basically Living Single?
Pretty much. That's all it is. It's her version.
Damn,
mind blown.
Yeah, it's her version.
Wow,
of Insecure.
That makes sense. Well, the more you know, folks.
Settles that. Okay, back to soul food.
Insecure is the new living single.
Yeah, that was for us.
In some way.
Was,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They was in their late 20s doing career stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to find a new job.
Molly was a lawyer.
Molly was a lawyer.
Wow.
With a witty tongue.
Damn, under our nose the whole time.
We just didn't see her and interact a lot on the show.
And who the Tiffany? That's
Lawrence.
Regine.
Yeah, her Amanda Seals.
Wow.
You just don't have a clear Overton for real.
Nah, buddy, that was Lawrence homie.
That's a funny reimagining of Overton.
Oh, yeah.
That's a funny reimagining of Overton, and it makes sense.
Damn, reshuffle the deck and you got living single.
Yeah.
There we go.
That is the only way I support living single being remade.
Just take the insecure cast. Be like, actually, we got some more checks for y'all. Let's just go ahead and do it.
Remember living single? Yeah, I know you do. That was a show during your time. So we want to place you in that universe. What do you say? What do you say?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
that works.
Sheesh.
That's probably how Issa pitched it. Like, yeah, I got this show. It's our versions of living single. Like, come on. Niggas probably like, yeah, you know, because Amanda Seals, she sell it.
Because instead of flavor, we got y'all.
We got y'all.
Damn, shout out to Issa Rae. I met her before.
Really?
Yeah.
So soul food.
If we casted or recasted soul food, similar premise, different take, whatever. I think I would start with whatever our version of Big Mama is.
You're just gonna say Loretta Devine?
Bring in Loretta Devine.
Gotta be. Who else?
Let her sign her check, run her blood pressure up, pass out in the hospital, bring the family together.
And not let Tyler Perry be over it.
Oh,
no. God, no.
Keep him
God, no.
far away, please. I was even going to say, as Big Mama, at this age now, Monique.
Depend on the rest of the cast. To me. Depend on the rest of the cast.
Because we've seen Monique in dramatic roles.
Yeah.
Precious, i.e. Precious. We've seen her in...
It depend on the cast. Because Monique a different type of Big Mama, so it depend on the cast.
She is, and I think that's what would make it, like, interesting about the new take on it.
So then, in the new take, we have to keep Big Mama, though.
Yeah. Well, no, she could die.
That's wasted Monique.
Yeah. I mean, and no shade to Loretta Devine. I love Loretta Devine, our original Dream Girl, but she has also been typecast as the on the way out, going to glory, older black mother. So if she happens to pass away in another movie,
it's okay.
That's her whole career.
Monique, who else? Jennifer Lawrence. It's not Lawrence, Jennifer Lewis.
I was going to say, this is a interracial family, ain't it?
Wait, as Big Mama?
Yeah, Jennifer Lewis.
I mean,
yeah.
Do the Big Mama technically have to be
Actually,
big?
no. Big Mama is just a role, not a
I want to
come on, questions that need to be answered.
I actually like her as a Big Mama role.
No, facts.
She can stay alive. Or,
she both.
Or she can be in hospital. Just stay in hospital.
She's the in between of Loretta Devine and Monique.
Yeah.
She's the fusion.
So then you would have a Ryan Destiny or
as
somebody in.
She could play. What was it? Bird. She could play Bird. She could play Bird.
She could be Bird. That's a good Bird.
That's a great Bird.
Modern day Neil Long. Yeah, close enough.
So who did she play?
Close enough.
Who did she play opposite? Who's
Makai?
Who's Makai Pfeiffer?
Who's Lem? What about? I don't know if y'all familiar with him. R.J. Cycler.
Yes.
So R.J. Cycler played. He played the producer, baby daddy. Yeah.
Fight back.
He played the producer father on Rap Shit. He was Mia's dude. Okay. He had the locks and stuff like that, but he don't rap.
Did you watch
You didn't see the Book of Clarence, did you?
Not Book of Clarence. He was also in the shit with Jonathan Majors.
Ooh. What? He wasn't with that Jonathan.
The name of that goddamn
The Harder We Fall. The Harder They Fall.
The Harder We Fall.
He was the cowboy.
He was the quick shooter.
Oh, duh. Okay, yeah. I'm into it. Because I was going to say, I could figure out where we could put Lakeith Stanfield. Because I'm kind of into him.
Why are we talking about this? I know somebody that is not sold on Lakeith.
As an actor?
Yeah, as an actor.
I understand the questions.
They feel like he's kind of the roles. They don't feel like he can take on a leading role movie for real. If they said Lakeith is only a good support, he's not a great lead.
No, he's a good lead. He's just been in different movies. So if that's not your movie palette, then you're not going to really rock with it.
His movies are
different.
A lot to the left. When you think about the discography, filmography. Yeah.
So we got The Harder They Fall with
RJ Cycler.
RJ Cycler with Ryan Destiny. That's a couple.
That's Bird and Limb. That makes sense.
We got Jennifer Lewis as
Big Mama.
You're not taking my leg. That's casting.
Big Mama Yard. Oh, baby, go and get out of here.
Who's Vanessa Williams? Who is
what's bro name? Bro,
I can't even think. Who is Faith?
Faith could be
gotta find an actress that don't mind being a worldly woman. You know who is Faith?
Faith could be. That brings me back to Shreya. I'm so
I support that.
Could. Yeah.
I'm sold on it. Hey,
yeah. You said you're getting nervous.
I wanted you in this. All right, I wanted you to know that.
No, it fits. It fits. Who could be Vanessa Williams?
They gotta carry the lawyer-esque. She's the big sister.
Tessa Thompson.
Not as Vivica. I mean, not as.
You know who could be
Vanessa
Vivica?
Williams.
Tiana Parrish.
Oh,
she could.
Didn't even think about that.
She could.
Tiana Parrish could be Vivica.
She could.
I was just rewatching They Clone Tyrone the other day. I'm like, yeah, she got it.
Yeah,
she got
that
it.
That is a perfect pick. So you got Bird as
Ryan Destiny.
And then we got
RJ Cycler.
Tiana Parrish as Vivica Fox. So then who is their oldest sister? Because that's a good sister pair right there. We could at least cast the sisters because I don't think we can recast.
We also got a cast dude to play Michael, and the other one
that's messing with
Soraya.
Yeah. Faith. So let's throw in Kimberly Elise.
That is great.
That's a great
toss in.
That's a great older sister.
That's a great toss in.
It tracks.
Holding the family together.
It tracks.
You picked that up from the Almost Christmas thing, didn't you?
Yeah.
She was in Almost
She was.
Could Thandie Newton be Vivica?
She actually would.
I think Thandie would be a great.
She would be a good
older sister.
Yeah,
you know, keep the family together. Overstressed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think Thandie.
I like that. I like that route.
So what other final casting do we have to call this complete?
We need Michael.
Yeah.
My final casting would be Michael Ealy.
As Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's so easy. But I mean, it fits for sure.
What if we did?
And the cast would have chemistry because a lot of these people we named have worked together in other parts, so it's giving Black Family Reunion. But yeah, I could be into Michael Ealy.
I'm thinking.
Trying to think of other light skinned brothers.
Yeah, that's what I'm so thinking. We do Terrence, not Terrence Howard, but Terrence J. He's not a bad actor.
He's not, but I'm not sold.
Yeah, he's not a bad actor. He definitely fits with who would be his wife in this?
What you call it?
Thandie
Newton.
To be sleeping with
Faith.
Soraya.
Yeah.
I could get behind it. I could get behind that.
Unless we got another.
That makes sense.
Unless we got
when you put it in that context.
Because now you with your wife or whatever, y'all been together for a minute.
Yeah.
This little young thing come up, her cousin, and you like.
If Lorenz wasn't so old in the face, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'm not mad at that either.
If Lorenz wasn't so old,
I'm not mad at that either.
So that's about the cast then.
Yeah, that's about the cast.
And then we can get some like up and coming kid to be a mod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody out there.
Who was that young man from Lion King on Broadway? Like He,
Could,
I mean,
could
'cause
tell
he-
you.
I didn't tell you his name.
he had been on a few other things.
You
So
can get the
like,
dude that was that y'all ever seen Raising Dion? It was on
I know of it. I kind of remember what the
yeah,
kid
yeah.
looked like. Yeah. I don't know that many kid actors like that young. Now they all
Yeah.
older, but
So there we have it. That's our soul food cast. Oh shit.
as you were.
don't even remember what I was saying. Basically, we checked in on everything that we came to check in on. Our good director brother here, but also reboots, remakes, reimaginings, whatever other R words you want to use in that context. We recasted Soul Food. Let us know what you think. We've also decided that Insecure is essentially the modern day living single. Let us know your thoughts on that too. But yeah, nonetheless, that's pretty much it, man. Good show.
Appreciate
guys.
y'all having me on the show, man.
Absolutely.
It's only right. It makes
Just
sense.
checking in.
Yeah, just checking in.
Indeed.
And just checking in on that.
You
He showed the crowd to figure me out.
You know
On
what?
that note.
Peace.